Hello guys, good evening. Yeah, as far as you are from this side of the world, which is Lagos, Nigeria, it's evening, could be any other, time, where you're joining from. Thanks for joining. It just started as it's a personal learning experience for me, and I just want to quickly drop this. So, the 10 days of Fabric is a personal learning experience for me. I have quite some, knowledge and skill and experience with some of the tools and features in Fabric. But Fabric in itself is a new product. So if you want to be a master of it, you must get to use it. You must learn about it. Except you are the engineer that built it. So it's a new product. So every one of us needs to learn. I learn in the open. I will skill up myself easily. I've gone through the modules and I just realized, oh, let me go through it again. But this time around, let me just make it a collective, learning journey. So let me just do it. And then good for me, I found really passionate individuals who are also knowledgeable about Fabric by going there to do something. And I have them as the co-host, which we both plan and execute this space. For example, yesterday, I was not even talking at all. I was just in the background. And Francis, as well as Faith, led the whole journey. So we really like to learn more about Fabric. Please do follow them. If you like to learn more about Microsoft Fabric, do follow these two guys because they're doing amazing things. They understand the technology. Francis has built end-to-end solutions. And next week, Wednesday, they're about, we'll go live, on YouTube, and we're going to demonstrate an end-to-end solution, especially, for data analysts who is wondering, where do I come in? Today's topic now, for example, is something that a lot of data analysts might not have heard about in the past, or do not even understand that something like that exists. So you're already being exposed to, these things. And, we hope to use the next couple of minutes to clarify any questions you have while you've gone through the modules, in case you've gone through it. Otherwise, we're going to pin the link. It's just a 10 days learning journey, even though it's set to be 30 days. So within those 30 days, you can pick any day, just make sure you complete your 10 days. But it's better you do it collectively, because right now you can come back online to this community that is meeting right now and ask questions. Or you can follow with the last previous modules that we've done and just go ahead and add, ask question in the thread. Definitely would, answer that. So today is the and hello Francis, hello Faith. Are you guys there? Just like you to say hi and hello to Pay so that we show you are here. And
Hi. I'm here.
awesome. I love the energy. My team is set. We are ready to take your questions. But as usual, we often take maybe like 5 or 10 minutes to just summarize what the module is all about. And we then, ask questions in case you've gone through it and you want to ask questions. Or just based on that something you are, some things that come into your mind, you can ask. Okay. So tonight I'm going to take a few seconds while I also allow Francis to make some contribution. But I just want to summarize my first experience with Spark. The 3 module is use Apache Spark in Microsoft Fabric. That is the module for today that we encourage everyone to go through. And what was the first time? So it was back 2019. I was balancing, shifting into data science from being a data analyst in the same organization. And because some of the core, workload that we use for our data analysis project, my team built it. We're a team of 3. My team of 3, we built that workload, but we weren't using Spark or Apache at any form, then. We realized we needed to, because the way we manually run our script every morning and a lot of challenges with that. So we needed to update and probably use the best possible technology. So as our data grows, as the process grows, it could actually do it more faster. We load millions of records every day, especially when we're loading customer table. Then I remember. And then we find out we had the training. Someone trained us for about 3 weeks on Apache Spark, and that was massive. So I'm not going to define it by lecture, by, what was there, but I'm going to define it by experience so that I get to know, okay, where did I use it? How did I use it? And What were we trying to use it for? So you could then see as a data analyst, okay, so even though you might not end up doing that, setting up that job or running those processes, but being aware of what it can do and how it's being used is going to help you a lot. Okay, so in that scenario, our scripts actually take longer time to load. What we used to do is to clear some record, say 3 months. Every day when we run the script, we clear 3 months old record across all the tables we are running those scripts. And those tables are a lot. I will start loading them again. Tomorrow we'll clear 3 months. Why? Because there are some form of adjustment that can be done in the business, auditing, posting, that if we did not backdate up to that 3 months, we might miss those data points, those updated changes, and it affects the business. So meaning we are constantly deleting over 3 months old record, and we are now loading them again up to as of yesterday. That was work for us. Now, so obviously, if you run the script, your ATS script with purely Python is not fast for doing those kind of things. It might look fast to you now, but when your data grows, you know that Python is not that fast with injection, transformation and injection. So we learned about Apache Spark, and the person that came to play my team then, explained the concept to us. It is why Spark is very good is because it is parallel processing technology. That is one thing I want you to just take up here. What does that mean is it can distribute tasks. So instead of a single computer running the work, Spark will have nodes and clusters. So clusters are more like the Spark. We call them different terms. Before they used to call them masters and slaves, but now they call them nodes and workers or yeah. So workers are different systems which are capacity, compute engine that will do the work for you. But all of them, like 5 computers, for example, 5 computers connected together, and those 5 computers are now being controlled by a single computer. And you talk to a single computer and say, oh, load this 1 million row of records for me. And that single computer will distribute the work in a parallel form in such a way that all of them, they are running in parallel. It will distribute the work and give the first computer to run 200,000 records, the second one to run the next 200,000 record, the other one to run the next 200,000 up to the 5th one. And instead of a single computer running those 1 million records, you will now have 5 computers running only 200,000 records each. And they are starting the same time and ending with the same time. So the time it will take them to run it is no longer the time it takes a single computer to run 1 million records. So now that they're distributed and and they are all running 200 records, once the one is done, you are done. The other one will run its own. And that way it becomes so fast, so efficient, and a lot of big data, you cannot, all those, when they call about big data technology, you don't get to use just Python. You might use Python flavor of Spark, because Spark, have different flavor. We have there is Spark R, there is Java, okay. We have Scala, which is another big data processing, data analytics technology. We have Scala, we have Spark. Those are the 2 common ones, Scala, Spark. But Spark itself has different flavor. Have Spark R, have Java flavor, have Python, flavor, which is PySpark. Anytime you see PySpark, it means Spark, which is parallel distributed technology, but Python flavor. So you can write those things in Python. All right. So that was how we use data, and then we now have different roles. As a data engineer, within that infrastructure that was set up, you are the one who is running this node. You are the one who is processing, running those jobs. As a data scientist, then back then, 2019, up to 2020, first week of February, February there, but that was when the whole training and the implementation was done. So that was how we used in my team. Before I left that team and on before I left the organization, that's how we used Spark. So today, you as a data analyst, most of the records you'll be working with might be in Excel. Okay, let me cite a scenario for you as I hand this over to Francis. Imagine the POS business for banks. Every transaction that is being done in POS, that data that you are printing out in the script, the sheet, data is also stored in a format. Most of the time, they are TST format, some of them. Some of them will come in different other formats, but mostly they're TST, text format. And for every record, you have a lot of, file. At the end of the day, either per day or per transactions. That is unstructured data, not completely structured, because the way they come as a file. Even though within those files, you also have, structure. They are mimicking structure, semi-structure, because it looks like it's in a table with a defined format, by the way. But it's file. And imagine hundreds of millions every day across all POS distribution all over Nigeria for a bank. And those things are stored somewhere. To process, that you need those large data, large scale, big data technology to actually handle those data. So you might see that as a data analyst, it's not really you, except you are a data engineer, but as you move in to become a fabricator, like Francis always put it, that knowledge, that understanding is very important. And now you are getting to know about it. That's because Fabric has bring everything together. And that's what we were speaking to. The fact that within Fabric, it's easier now for all these different roles to work together. In the past, you don't even know what those guys were doing. But now you get to know, and it's easier to pivot across those verticals. You want to expand your scale. Okay, Francis, I'm going to just hand this over to you so you can also share one or two things, and we can take questions.
All right, Allah, thank you very much for your submission. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, Allah has said a lot as far as Apache Spark is concerned. But the one thing I would try to reiterate here is the fact that if you pay attention to our documentation, you will see where they talk about it uses the divide and conquer approach. That is where you talk about, okay, you have a big task, but it has been broken down into small chunks. Let me have it done by using this example. Say, if you want movies down, you want to attack Thanos. You see Captain America going for the head. You see what do you know this guy now? You see I've lost the name now. So you see different people going for the head, another person going for the arms, another person going for the leg. And before you know it, this your enemy is already down. So that is the approach Spark is bringing into attacking large data sets. And it's even very obvious in the way Spark is actually going to write your data set. It's going to write it in partitions. If you are coming from Synapse Analytics, for example, now, you realize that you are getting your data in CSV, and CSV can be like 2 million rows, 5 million rows, and then you have them in like 5 CSV files. Then you have to like write them in different storage. So Spark has bring this functionality into Fabric, where you can even write your Python's code, you can write your Scala code, you can even write your SQL code. So all of these things just make work faster. And if you are coming from yesterday, where we talk about lakehouses, you can actually connect your lakehouse to this Spark directly. And interestingly, you can even use it either as ELT or ETL. When I say ELT, I mean extract, transform, and load, or extract, load, and transform. You can even divide a Spark job definition whereby you pass it as a activity in your pipeline for data transformation. That's where you are doing your extract, transformation, and load, or you are doing extract, load, and transformation. That is when your data set is already in your lakehouse, and then you are now doing your transformation and clean. So it's actually very dynamic and versatile. Either you bring this for your transformation before you load, or you load before you transform your data. You can bring it at any point that is convenient for you, and then you can be sure that you can process your data faster and more efficiently. I think I will just stop here, then we can take questions.
Thank you very much, Francis. Of course, I love the part that you now took us through the learning, some of the key banks in the learning modules, and you also add experience to it. It makes a lot of sense. So in case you are a data analyst and you are hearing this for the first time and just confused, which one is all this cluster, which one is this partition you're talking about, which one is this? Don't worry, it gets more clearer as you put this to use. You're going to see how it's being used. First, I need to also mention this, that you might, as a data analyst, you might not still do ETL, the engineering part of the work. But I will encourage us to continue to build our versatility now that a platform exists that can make it easier for you to play those roles across this analytics continuum or spectrum. Data engineer, now you know what they use. You see examples, you can see how they do the work, and you can do it. Many organizations today does not have any form of data infrastructure. And as a data analyst, you are there and you are working with them, and the data you are using are not giving you all the things you want to do every time. In fact, you could not do some things. And one day, this same organization end up subscribing to Fabric. You know, obviously, what that means is, oh, now you are familiar with the pain point, you are familiar with data problems. You can use this technology right there, which has been made even easier for you to use, because most of the setting up the cluster, all those configuration, everything, come on, they've handled it. In fact, Fabric has set some of them at default, even for optimization for you. So don't need to know the nitty-gritty that goes into those things. And you can still use the point and click and write some SQL, some PySpark code, or even copy and paste some examples, because there are already a lot of libraries are already there, even in Micro Fabric, that you will need to use for your PySpark within the job or the notebook. So those things are there. And the day is coming soon that you might want to also leverage it to solve the pain point. Once you can use it to put the data in the form you want it to be, and you can then do more. Let me mention this quickly. When my team was given this task in 2018 to build the first, analytics reporting for the organization, we have to start from data, and we have to start very fast. Yes, we were using Power BI, but you can connect Power BI to a dirty data, to data that you in different sources, some in Oracle, some in SQL, and in different forms. So despite the fact that we're data analysts, we still have to use Python, start doing injection and some transformation, and create a new server and just create some schema around data, and all the data, the one we need for the purpose we're throwing it there. We were not data engineers. So even when you, as a data analyst, even though the end goal is to build visuals, but it's not just to say I will plug the Power BI to a data, no. So we still knew that in the simplest form, the little transformation we can do, the little cleaning we can do, let's still do, because we must get the data in a particular form where we want to use it. And we can now start building our visuals. Same way today. No, don't think someone will have solved that problem. No. And your visualization is as good as the quality of your data. And in a scenario where they don't have data engineer, they don't have anyone doing in Fabric, you are still the same person who can solve that. So being familiar with this, as you continue to do more use case, you will learn this very well. So being familiar with this makes you more strong, make you more valuable, and can help you do your job better. And but that's just what I want to put it there. So Faith, over to you. You can moderate the question and answer session. If you have any question, please go ahead. Make a request to ask. If you want to make a contribution submission, I hand this over to you, Faith. Please do take over from here.
All right, thank you so much, Ola and Francis. That was quite nice. I like what the way Francis explained the term. I think, what did he just say? That I think divide and conquer. I had a different definition when it comes to politics. But I had to go and check when I read that part in the model, and I got the definition of how it's like, division of labor. And that was like something very nice and a great feature for that particular tool. So I learned a lot. And also today, I felt like I was a data engineer where I was doing the lab, and it was really, really interesting. So if you have any question, please, you can come off mute and ask your question, or you can also drop your question in the comments. So please come off mute or drop your questions.
So why we expect people to make a request to speak or drop their question, okay? I just want to yes, if you have started the Fabric module learning part, can you just use emoji, just to signify, that, oh, I've started, or I'm taking it, or I've taken it, or, or I've completed it, any of that. Yeah, Faith, over to you.
Okay, I think some people are reacting that actually, but it's not, so many people here are not taking the challenge, but it's fine. Okay, ID Mike, you want to come off mute and ask your question?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm just joining this. It is quite late, but then I found it quite interesting. I think it was just some couple of days ago I came across this Microsoft Fabric, which I'm still quite new to. I mean, I just did that, just read it or about it. And, interestingly, I think I was talking to a friend of mine some couple of days ago, and we were talking about how Microsoft will eventually merge the cloud platforms with, I mean, there are various cloud platforms like Office 365, the, what do you call it, um, what do you call it, and the various cloud platforms they have to give, a more, effective way of accessing data, like, and I think that's what do you call it, the Microsoft Fabric does, with what I've had so far, what I've read so far. I'm yet to join, but I'm super motivated listening to you guys. Keep up the good work. Yeah, but then for those of us who are just interested, I mean, I already have knowledge of Python, a bit competency with Python, Excel, Power BI. Yeah, so, but for those of us who are just jamming Microsoft, I mean, coming across Microsoft Fabric, I guess I'm just going to launch in. So, what would you advise? How do you advise I get into it? I mean, what steps? How do I say this? Like, what do you think? How do you think I should approach it? I mean, that's where our best friend. How do you think I should approach it so that I don't just do try and error, to come to terms with it.
Okay, thank you so much for asking. I would have said just run along with the 10 days challenge, but I think Ola will be the best to answer that question. So Ola, would you like to answer that?
That, yeah, to be honest, that is it. First, the learning challenge, and maybe the learning challenge and this particular learning challenge we are running, because for every day we do maximum of 30 minutes, something like this, and we try to explain and share experience for each of those modules. For example, day one, I noted it myself, Francis. We shared exactly what Fabric is, how you should understand it, not just to read Fabric is this. Why Fabric? What problem exists? How is Fabric trying to solve it? As a data analyst or whatever you are today across those verticals, why should you then learn Fabric? So when you have that good understanding, then you know why you are learning this, you know what you are learning, you are even seeing into the future and how this thing is useful for you as an individual, not just this is Fabric. So I'm going to advise that, I mean, right now, the best that I found around me, it's this collective, learning journey that we have. That why should you start? And every day we then start showing you or telling you, what each of those modules, things outside the modules, experience that will augment and complement what you are learning in the modules. So I'm already creating a thread right now so that we can add each everyday tweet and even the summary audio session space like this for every day one. This is the learning track for day one, and this is the summary that we had at the end of the day. Day two, the same thing, so that people can always jump on it and use that to kickstart that journey. That would be my response. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ola, for sharing. So, ID Mike, if you check the Jumbotron, I linked the intro video that Ola did. That was like, it helped me. So, I think you should also check that out. It's a beginner-friendly video for Microsoft Fabric. You can just, if you check the Jumbotron now, it's linked there. Just click on it and it will take you to YouTube, and then you can watch that. And I hope you get the help that you need. So please, if there is any other person that has a question, you can just come off mute and ask, or you use the comment section. So there were some of us that raised up our hands when Ola asked if there's anybody taking it. So I don't know. Maybe you might not even have a question. If you have a contribution, you can just share with us what you have learned and how you were able to complete it. For some of us that completed the lab, I'm still working on my own lab because some of the codes that I'm running, even with copy and paste, they are still returning some form of errors. So you can just share anything that you learned from the module today or your experience generally. You can come off mute or just use the comment section.
Okay, let me just say this while people are trying to come up with their thoughts. So I think that Fabric has presented us a platform for those that enjoy core coding to do their coding, and for those that enjoy working with UI to do their thing that way too. And yeah, he's also providing us a platform as a data engineer, as a data analyst, as a data scientist. So if you actually enjoy the engineering part more, I think that's where you should develop your skill. Even though you know that at the end of the day, for Spark, for example, now you still do your visualization. But if you think you enjoy data analyst part, then you should focus more on that also. And then, of course, because you're working in that environment, there is no way that the scientist part or the engineering part will not rub off on you. And the same thing with the data scientist part also. If you enjoy doing machine learning model, focus more on machine learning. And then you are working on an interface that affords you to do engineering, to do data analysis. So it just makes sense for you to like, okay, you are a fabric, you are a fabricator, but then you know that you enjoy the engineering part more. You enjoy building pipeline, orchestrating data, providing data sets into your lakehouse, and all of those things. So I think even within Fabric, you can pick your specialty. Because specialization is actually very key. Even in Power BI, some people say they enjoy data modeling. Some say it's UI. I was even working with some clients in recent times, and they are saying that they are front-end Power BI developer. I was shocked because for me, that is not very common in this client because I'm both the front-end and the back-end person. So it just depends on what you enjoy to do, and everything is just interwoven and it will rub off on you at the end of the day.
Thank you so much, Francis, for sharing that. I think I can actually relate with what you're saying because the lab for today had so much to do with codes and they were very, very familiar with some of the ones that I've already done on Jupyter Notebook before. So I could actually really, really relate. I like the fact that you could do low code and also if you are someone that likes to code, still open for you. So it's an amazing fit. And I think she already left the call. Okay, Apima Divine. I think you were trying to speak, but I don't know if I approved you, but I still cannot find you here. Do you still want to come off mute and ask your question or your contribution? Hello, Apima Divine.
Yeah, she's still in the audience category, so she's not a speaker, so there's no way she can unmute. Probably network, maybe she dropped up because of network. We just have a minute to end this, so please tweet your question because we just need to keep this for that 30 minutes. You just add your question to the bottom to the tweet of this. So we will definitely answer it. Even if it is your thought, your submission, please add it. We want to keep it so short. It's not a long, conversation.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah,
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for bringing this to our way, especially for us as data analysts and also at Oyinbooke. Thank you for the work you do. I've been following you back to back from the 30 days analytics till now, and I want to say thank you and I applaud you for what you're doing so far. God bless you. And then I joined I've registered and started the challenge already, but I think I stopped at yesterday because I missed yesterday, so I continued today from the lake the lake house. So I was on the project for the lake house and I got a bit stuck at the project, so I don't know. And my system is down, but I think the where I got stuck was when I had to now get into the Power BI section and all that. So I don't know if I just need a little bit of explanation on how that lake houses work. I think that will help. have read it, but I'm on the project actually.
Did you listen to yesterday's session? Because we do this every day. Because the Lakehouse was explained.
Yeah,
just
so
like today's.
I did, that's what I said, and I didn't join this session yesterday.
It was recorded because of time. That Lakehouse session was for yesterday. So rather keep it in that conversation. You can treat it and add to the thread so that people can continue to learn once they catch up on that. And because we go past time now, it's already 31 minutes. We don't want to really push this more than 30 minutes. So I will tweet the link in the thread where you can catch up with the recording yesterday. 30 minutes, or I think it was even less than 30 minutes. And yet, just the way we've expressed and explain Apache Spark within Microsoft Fabric today, same way we did for Lakehouse yesterday. And I'm sure it will be very clear once we listen to it. Thank you very much, Apima, and awesome work you are doing with Deep Purple. I see that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so yes. I just wanted to tell the fan that I've linked it here, so you can just click on it and you see the recording of yesterday's on. I hope that helps.
Yes, that helps. Thank you so much. I'll just have to go through it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks all, and see you tomorrow. Once again, thanks to our co-hosts. These guys are doing amazing work. Let's keep learning. As we continue to learn and co-share, we grow our knowledge and skill. That is how, one of the best way I do things. I could learn with people, and that's exactly what we are doing. So, see you all tomorrow again, and bye for now.
Bye.